This is Tom Robleski, the political editor of the Staten Island Advance. We're with City Councilman James Otto in his district office here on Staten Island. We're going to talk a little congestion pricing politics now that obviously you voted against congestion pricing in City Council. Now that the plan is dead, I mean, what is your reaction to how things have played out over the last couple of days?
Listen, I think the State Assembly and the State Senate should have voted on it. I think that's the democratic process. Members could stand up, vote yes, I don't have a problem with their yes vote. Stand up, vote no, I don't have a problem with their no vote. I do have a problem with them not voting. I think it sends off the wrong message. It just comes across as being very undemocratic. If, in fact, and I tend to believe it, that this was not simply the whim of Speaker Silver, that there was deep resentment in the Assembly, those members needed to stand up and be heard and vote no. If this was to protect certain members in the Assembly who maybe wanted to vote no and didn't want to incur the wrath of the administration, or maybe wanted to vote yes, and they needed to stand up and vote. And so I think it sort of ends with a little whimper and not a thud. We gave the proponents of congestion pricing an opportunity, literally to the last minute, to craft a package that we thought would be fairer to Staten Island. And at the end of the day, the numbers dictated my vote. $500 million securitized for one big pot of $4.5 billion. Fair enough. How much is coming back to my district? I think Staten Islanders have a right to ask that question, given the history of neglect by the MTA. And when the answer came back, $60 million, which is less than 1%, it was unacceptable.
Was there a little bit of intellectual dishonesty on the part of the MTA, other people, to say, listen, we've got these projects for you guys in our plan, but we don't have the money to pay for them unless we get the congestion pricing fees? And some people took that to be, well, now I've got my taxes are already supposed to be going towards this, my tolls are already supposed to be going towards this, and now on top of that I have another fee. You
know what it reminded me of? It was a Seinfeld moment. They were regifters. Didn't they give us that? I thought they gave us that already. I thought we had that coming to. When you're giving me what you already told me I was supposed to get, to me it's not a new thing. At the end of the day, as best as I could see, and this is their words, in the meetings that Councilmember Ignizio and I had, as what I could see is they wanted to give us 33 express buses. I don't know if those are brand new buses or they were going to import newer buses from other boroughs. And they wanted to give us $25 million for bus rapid transit. But I have to tell you, there was a meeting at Borough Hall where almost all the elected officials were at a month and a half ago, and no one was jumping out of his or her skin for joy. But they could not answer for me the question, how will we spend this $4.5 billion? And when will we spend it? Will the decisions be made during the next 18 to 19 months where I think I could get somewhat of a fair hearing in front of the court of Michael Bloomberg? Or will the decisions be made after he's gone and we're back into the, in the hands of the MTA? I don't want to be in the hands of the MTA. I've seen what that means for us. And so, yeah, it was a Seinfeld moment. They regifted.
On another topic, some tough sledding for one of your allies in the council, Speaker Christine Quinn. You're of opposite parties, but you and her have had good relationship. This whole scandal, I guess you would have to call it, over slush funds, monies that are shifted around. Overall, what's your take on that as a practice, and also what you think? And she as well, a congestion pricing proponent, wants to run for higher office by all available evidence. What do you think the fallout is going to be for somebody like that, for these two things sort of at the same time?
Well, listen, it's not a good thing, and nobody can defend the practice, and I will not attempt to defend the practice of creating a false entity, making something up, and putting money into a group that doesn't exist. I've known Christine Quinn for 17 years. When she looks me in the eye and she says something to me, I believe it. I have no reason not to. I believe in her as a person. I believe in her integrity. I've seen it. I lived it. I experienced it. I talked to her the day before it broke, and I can tell you, she was devastated by it. She's almost a victim, I think, of her own integrity, in that she has raised the standard for herself by focusing on transparency. It's not a good thing, particularly because I think it was characterized at first as something that it's not. I think for the most part, the public doesn't understand holding codes, and I think if you were to ask the public, it's somebody put money in somebody's pocket, and it kind of gets lumped in, frankly, with the other city council news that came out, one of our colleagues from Queens County, with the stuff that came out with the governor, with the former governor, and it's just, it enables the public to say what they want to say, and that's paint with a broad brush. They're all bums, they're all lazy, and they're all crooks. So from that point of view, it's damaging. When you look at it objectively and honestly, again, without defending the practice of creating a false entity, it's not what it was characterized as. But listen, it's not good. I mean, no one in politics is going to tell you that this is good or this helps her.
If you want to hear more from this interview, check out my Politburo blog on SILive.com tomorrow.